The Colorado Buffalo. And I get they're not in the Big 12 yet, but it's been the biggest storyline in all of college football the last couple of weeks. They had Fox is what is Big Noon Kickoff, Fox Game Day for the last 3 weeks, and they went to Colorado State and certainly should have lost that game. They didn't even go to Colorado State. I see it correctly. They hosted Colorado State and should have lost that game. Jay Norvell comes out and talks about Deion Sanders. And then what does Deion say? What does his staff say? They're going to F around and find out. What I think is so funny about this win for Colorado is that Colorado finds a way to steal it in the end. Steal it in overtime. And that all of the news outlets, ESPN and CBS and Fox, when they all post the post-game graphics, even the announcer was like, oh, Colorado, do you believe now? Why would I believe after this? Why would I believe in Colorado after this performance against Colorado State? And I know if you're a Colorado fan, you're listening, you're like, oh, Colorado's good. I think Colorado is good. But this was a really poor display of what Deion Sanders has brought to Boulder. This was a poor display compared to what Colorado has shown to the rest of college football so far this season. In a week where teams like Arizona State lost 29-0 to Fresno State, where Stanford lost to Sacramento State, and Cal struggled with Idaho. In a week where the Pac-12 and many teams, soon to be in the Big 12, struggled. We turned our lonely eyes to Colorado, who had been disrespected in the midweek by Jay Norvell, to see what they could do. And it was lackluster. It was boring. It was inconsistent, and overall, it was disappointing against Colorado State. Colorado State probably should have won this game. I mean, I watched the entire second half very closely. I was like, oh, yeah, no, this is Colorado State's game to win for the majority of it. Going down to the very last second. I mean, look, gumption for Deion Sanders and company to pull off this win. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because, wow, the storyline huge in the Big 12 and college football, and Colorado is one of ours now, yes. But wow, Jay Norvell comes out and talks trash to Deion. How does Deion respond? F around and find out. Everybody gets sunglasses. And then, Colorado looked bad, stinky, gross against Colorado State after beating TCU and beating Nebraska. And it makes me wonder, how good is the Big 12 really? Is TCU really that good? I mean, I think Colorado is a solid team, but Colorado might still go 7-5 this season. And then we start asking the question, is TCU really that good? Are they really on the top half of the Big 12? And then we start asking, well, Cincinnati, who just lost, and Oklahoma State, who just lost to far inferior opponents. Iowa State, who just lost to a far inferior opponent. What do we make of all this? And then Deion Sanders, who's supposed to be the savior of the Big 12, to keep this conference on the map, to make this conference elite and relevant in college athletics, barely escapes Colorado State with College Game Day and Fox Big Noon Kickoff on hand. In all, I think what this all does is reinforces the fact that it was a bad week in the Big 12. For teams that will be in the Big 12, for teams that are in the Big 12, it was a terrible week. Sure, a couple teams like your UCFs, who I think is a competitor in the Big 12, will compete for a Big 12 title, got things done like they were supposed to do. Yeah, against a team in Villanova you're supposed to beat. Oklahoma, you beat Tulsa. You're supposed to beat Tulsa. Then there was the Ohio debacle. Then there was the Miami of Ohio debacle. Something about the state of Ohio. Stay away. There was the LIU debacle with Baylor. Southern Alabama debacle for Oklahoma State, and more. Outside of West Virginia and BYU, this conference really stunk. Really stunk this weekend. Please just make it better. Come back tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be more chipper and you can try to figure out what's going on. This has been, it always will be, Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.